Okay, freshest look of the year from our Dutch boy Fresh. Lakers -5. I, too, am on the Lakers -5. Let's get into NBA. 1-1 yesterday, down 0.10 units. But we are 160 and 136 on the season, hitting at 54.1%, up 12.27 units. ROI plus 4.15%. Average line -108. They are, Paco. They are, but our COVID numbers are going up fast. So, like, Vancouver just shut down again, pretty much. Not fully shut down, but we're a little concerned right now. I moved on the Lakers last night at -5, and I didn't think it was going to be available today when I woke up. I thought it'd be 5.5. It's not. This total opened up at 220.5. There are 218s on the board right now. And there's Sportsman of the Year. Got lucky lefty, Tata Booker rolling with us. Okay. West semis, game 4. Lakers lead the series 2-1. When we were watching that game, the reason why I have to take the Lakers at 5 points is because you can cover 5 if you take the lead in the last 2 minutes of the game. The way I see it, the Rockets have to be playing at their very best to have a 3 or 4 point lead on the Lakers. The Lakers can be playing average and still be in control. And I had no concern watching game 3. Now, if the Lakers win easily tonight and they're up 3-1, I may make a move on the Rockets. I also think that the Rockets can come out fast. If you talk about James Harden and what bothered him, he said we weren't in attack mode. He said they did a good job of trapping and we didn't make them pay for it. He said the problem was pace. I think they're going to come out and attack right now. If you look at the Rockets' pace, and we've talked about it a lot in the 8 seeding games, there's 107.35 possessions a game. That keeps dropping. And this series, they're at 95.17 possessions a game. So they're getting over 12 possessions less a game right now in this series than they were in the 8 seeding games. LeBron James is being dominant. He's being so good and so good defensively. Those 4 block shots, I mean, they're just enormous momentum shifters. But Houston has been struggling with turnovers, and they've been struggling late. El Capo says, I think Houston wins. NBA would love to. George Wood says Caruso's defense underrated. Yes, Raymond Reddington, we did MLB. We did MLB, NFL, NCAA football, now NBA, and then NHL. But we'll go over everything. Paco Healy said that game went under due to the pace. No doubt about it. And Glenn Man says, Lakers Clippers, here we come, just like I told you. Yes, that's exactly what everybody is waiting for and been talking about all year. So, my pleasure, Raymond. Thank you for joining us. Ado Zudir is on Rockets first half. What I want to do is I want to take Rockets first quarter. I'm on the Lakers -5, but I expect Harden to really preach. Shit, it's moved to 9.5 at bet 365 for the Chiefs as we're speaking. I expect Harden to be saying that nonstop to the guys in the locker room. And Robert Allen's already on Lakers first quarter, first half in full game. Wow. I think that they are going to be listening to Harden. And I think they're going to attack early. So let's see what we're getting on first quarter. First quarter here. We're getting a +1.5. And that sounds good to me. Tony Manning says, talk props too. I will. Cub Kamek says, I think Rockets come out firing and it takes the Lakers a quarter or two to heat up. Cub Kamek, that's exactly – I'm already on the Lakers -5. I am now going to add the Rockets first quarter. +1.5. Lakers -5. Schnizzle says Harden will play damn near the whole first quarter, barring any foul trouble. And Raymond Reddington says, always hard for me to watch a show since I'm in Europe. Just finished work, 5:34 p.m. here in Norway. Respect, Raymond. Thank you for joining us. That's very cool. Topsa says Rockets first quarter is my only play last night. C-Max on Lakers -5. Stephen Glass on Lakers -5. Dizzy Rothstein does not trust. Harden says he's a bum and a point shaver. Sean Alex says Rockets were also up in the last game until they got sloppy and gave away 7 turnovers almost repeatedly for the Lakers to go on a run. Seal the deal in that second half. Intex says, I don't think Harden is a great leader, as he showed in a couple of years in the playoffs, because he basically quit on the team. Maybe he's matured. I think that he can lead this team, and I think he's handled, Westbrook quite well. And C-Mac saying, don't love it, but surprised it's low. Thought it'd be -6 or -6.5. I think it'll be -5.5 for -6 by game time. Sportsman of the Year says there's no way the Lakers are going to lose tonight. Glenn Elliott, man on the Dodgers, Lakers moneyline parlay. I'm on Rockets first quarter +1.5, Lakers -5. Full game. Let's go into player props, which I'm going to stay away from. I'm going to continue doing what's been working for me. And that is sides and totals. And I'm also going to stay away from the total here because I don't believe in that 95 pace. I just don't believe in it. And if that's the case, then the over might be in play. But I have to see the pace increase. I just have to see the pace increase before I make a bet saying the pace is going to increase drastically. It does make me think. I mean, how can the Rockets keep playing this slow? It's all good, Matt. Take your time, man. We still have NHL to get to, so we still got about 10 or 15 more minutes. Just feels like I had this feeling and I was wrong on the Raptors game. Ixnizzle says, hard to predict these totals with these two teams. I'd rather pick a side and play that. I think the problem is that the Rockets can be so streaky. The Rockets have to do exactly what Harden said. We weren't in attack mode. They have to be in attack mode. They have to be. And if they're in attack mode, it'll be more scoring. But this pace keeps slowing down. And Ixdizzle says LeBron can hold the ball damn near half the shot clock. That's a problem. The Lakers' pace in the 8 seeding games is 101. So far in the playoffs is 99.69, so it's pretty close. Glenn Elliott, man, hit LeBron over 28.5 points. Let's take a look at props. Robert Cherry's got Kuzma over 9.5. Davis under 13.5 boards. Danny Green over 6.5. And back to the well with Covington. Is Covington have a broken nose? You know what? That's very important to know what ended up happening with that hit, that inadvertent elbow he took from AD. Let's just see this quickly. But that second half, they fell apart. Let's see what Covington has. Questionable. And it hurts that they don't have Daniel House. And that fence says Covington's fine. Spenny, I hear you. But most of that game it looked like the over was going to hit. What happened was the Raptors didn't score a point in the last 4 minutes and 12 seconds of regulation. So, yes, I got bailed out that the teams went to OT, but the pace did quicken in that game. So, there's no doubt that I got bailed out. But let's just, just to answer that question about, I mean, we can talk about it tomorrow. Well, why don't we talk about that pace tomorrow? But the pace did quicken. And, with 5 minutes left in the game, I thought I was going to hit the over in regulation. Okay, let's go to player props here for Lakers Rockets. We're going to go to points. We've already seen what Robert Cherry is doing. We have AD at 28.5 points, LeBron at 29.5, Kuzma at 12.5. Kuzma is juiced to the under. Danny Green at 8.5, heavily juiced to the under. Covington at 11.5, juiced to the under. If you want to look at what props are being juiced to the over, Jeff Green, who started out the playoffs so strong, he's at 11.5, juiced to the over. PJ Tucker's at 6.5 points, juiced to the over. Russell Westbrook, 23.5, juiced to the over. Eric Gordon, 17.5 is a pick'em. Gio Mercedes, if I had a free play, I would take the over. But without House, I don't want to put my money on it. But I do think that Harden is going to be true to his word and run. I think they are going to attack. Ado says Gordon over 17.5 points is good. You'd have to study it, but obviously, of the last couple games, he's been looking very strong. All right.